Okay, Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon, everyone. Today, my topic for presentation is thyroid gland and parathyroid gland histology. And you must be knowing about thyroid and parathyroid previously as well. Just an overview, as you already went through a lecture by Dr. Priya in the morning. So I'll be going through that and also another topic as well. And after this presentation, I'll be assignment related to this topic on Edmodo, which you already know how you have to attempt and submit, and your attendance will be marked after you submit the assignment. Okay, so I'll be starting the presentation. Firstly, let's start with thyroid gland. Thyroid gland, as you all know, is an hormone secreting gland which is derived from basically endoderm. The thyroid follicular epithelial cells are derived from endoderm, and the parafollicular cells and C cells, along with that, are all derived from endoderm embryologically. Histologically, if we talk about the microscopic features, which is the main topic of today's presentation, um, each the thyroid gland is filled with thyroid follicles, and the follicles contain a material known as colloid, which contains hormones like T3 and T4. Most of the circulating T4 is converted into T3, but both forms of hormone can affect the target cell. And you also know that iodine is essential for the formation of thyroid gland hormone. Thyroid gland hormone is secreted in response to another hormone, which is secreted from the pituitary, that is TSH. The primary effect of thyroid hormone is basically to increase the body's metabolic rate. It has also some other functions as well, like it raises the heart rate, the contraction strength, and it also raises the respiratory rate. It accelerates the breakdown of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins for fuel. Thyroid hormone promotes alertness, bone growth, and remodeling, development of skin, hair, and various other functions which this hormone has. Calcitonin is another hormone that is produced by the parafollicular cells of the thyroid gland, and this is responsible for blood calcium levels in the body. It also promotes calcium deposition and bone formation by stimulating osteoblast activity. Thyroid gland, if we talk about the histological features, basically, so the thyroid gland is surrounded by a fibrous capsule, thin fibrous capsule. External to the capsule is a loose sheath formed by a pretracheal layer of deep cervical fascia. But our basic concern related to microscopic features would be the thin fibrous capsule. Okay, so let's move ahead. In this slide, you can see the diagram in which you can see thyroid gland over here, and along with that there is parathyroid gland. So if you see thyroid gland, you can see there are a number of follicles visible um, in the thyroid gland, and these follicles contain a colloid material which is present in the center of the follicle. Um, all the thyroid follicles are of different various sizes, and it depends on the activity of the thyroid gland that how many follicles will be present and what are the sizes of the follicles. Okay, so let's see that you can also appreciate that these follicles are present in the form of incomplete lobules. Um, and these lobules are over here. This is a bigger picture in which you can see that so one lobule is marked. This lobule consists of a cluster of follicles. All the follicles, they are present in the form of cluster, and this cluster can be regarded as a lobule, incomplete lobule, or sometimes there is a complete lobule. And the whole gland is divided into, the parenchyma is divided into lobules with the help of septa, which come from the capsule. Capsule sends the different septa, incomplete septa, into the gland, and it divides the whole gland into incomplete lobules. And in these lobules are clusters of thyroid follicles. Okay, the thyroid gland is, as I mentioned, consists of variable sized follicles that are filled with an acidophilic material called colloid. Um, this over here in this slide, you can see the bigger diagram of the enlarged diagram of the colloid. This is the same material present in the center of the thyroid follicle, and this colloid contains the basic precursors of the TB3, T4, which are formed from thyroglobulin. They are present in the center of the thyroid follicle, which is colloid. And also you can see follicles. They have shown different pictures of follicles over here that are present in the lobule, and also separate follicles you can see over here. Thyroid follicles are cyst-like structures that range in size, varying from 0.2 to 0.9 millimeter in diameter, and each follicle is surrounded by a basal lamina and is supported by reticular fibers. Okay, as you all know, there are different types of fibers, which we have previously studied in history as well. Reticular fibers, collagen fibers, elastic fibers. So you can appreciate that there are different follicle sizes present over here, and you can go and you can see that this depends, the size depends on the activity of the thyroid gland. Okay, so let's move ahead. Over here you can see a rich network of fenestrated capillaries surround the follicles. Some follicles are closely opposed and there is no basal lamina between them. Thus, follicles may be continuous and intermittent. Like over here, you can see that between these follicles, you can see different small capillaries present. And these are just showing you the different types of capillaries. Not going into in detail of the types of capillaries, but just to show you that there are different types: continuous, fenestrated capillaries, and discontinuous capillaries. So except in this type of gland, endocrine gland, that is thyroid, where we will find fenestrated capillary. Okay, thyroid follicles consist of a layer of simple epithelium. Now, if you talk about the lining epithelium of thyroid gland, so that will be cuboidal epithelium. Oh, simple cuboidal epithelium. But it can also vary from cuboidal to columnar depending on the activity of the thyroid gland, and it can also go towards squamous if the thyroid gland is not working effectively, and if it's hyperactive, then you can find columnar cells. So you can see cuboidal cells over here lining the thyroid follicle. These cells are cuboidal cells, follicular cells, or you can also call them cuboidal cells, and in the center you can see colloid material present. The cuboidal follicular or principal cells is the most numerous cell present in the simple epithelium layer. The cuboidal cells are also called the principal cells, and they are responsible for secreting the thyroid hormones in the thyroid gland, as well as thyroglobulin, which is a glycoprotein present inside the colloid material. Thyroid hormones are stored extracellular as part of thyroglobulin, which is the main component of the colloid. Follicular or principal cells. Over here you can see an enlarged magnified picture of the cuboidal or principal cells. The individual follicular cells have a spherical nucleus which is centrally placed and it is closer to the base of the cell. The cell has a large amount of rough endoplasmic reticulum and Golgi apparatus in a region above the nucleus. And the apical surface of the cell has numerous microvilli and show evidence of endocytosis between the microvilli. The cells also possess two types of granules. The small granules can be seen throughout the cytoplasm are secretory granules, and they come from the Golgi apparatus and they contain newly synthesized thyroglobulin, a large protein. These granules fuse with the apical cell membrane and release their content into the peripheral colloid within the follicle. The larger granules, on the other hand, vary in number and are usually present close to the other. These are colloid droplets and contain iodinated thyroglobulin, which is endocytosed from the colloid. Over here, this is an overall picture of a thyroid gland which shows a lobule containing a cluster of follicles. In the center of the follicle, you can see colloid material present, which is light pink in color, and you also see interlobular connective tissue, which are forming septa that are coming from the capsule of the thyroid gland. This is another slide, a picture that you see under the microscope, different sizes of thyroid follicles present over here, which the center homogeneously stained material present that is pink in color, light pink in color, and it is known as colloid. And the rest of the whole boundary of the follicle, which contains cells, these cells are follicular cells or cuboidal cells that are lining the thyroid follicle. Same picture showing you the follicular cells and the colloid in the follicle. The colloid basically is a homogeneously stained fluid material, and the thyroid hormones are synthesized as large precursor molecules called thyroglobulin, and that is the basic component of colloid, as I mentioned previously. This contains the secretion product of epithelial follicular cells and consists of large glycoprotein molecules. Size of follicles and the height of the cells varies even within one section of the gland. Like I told you, there's a lot of variation in the sizes and of the cells as well as of the follicles. Squamous principal cells indicate a relatively inactive gland. Like if you find a squamous variety or low height cells, then you can consider that the gland is inactive, relatively inactive. Whereas if you find the cuboidal or columnar cells, that indicate that the thyroid gland is quite active and is removing the hormone from the stored form. This is a label diagram of which we ask you to draw if you're present, if you were here or present in the actual practical, which shows different follicles, and along with that you can see different capillaries in the whole parenchyma of the gland. You can see follicular cells, parafollicular cells which secrete calcitonin are present between adjacent follicles. Okay, they're not present surrounding the follicle or inside the follicle. They are present between two adjacent follicles. That's why the name suggests parafollicle. Apart from that, you can also see connective tissue septa over here. You can see arterioles or venules and capillaries. All of these components of the thyroid gland, which you are supposed to mention in microscopic features or identification points of thyroid gland, we all can see, all features can be seen over here in this diagram. In addition to principal cells, which we have discussed, the parafollicular cells may be found as single cells in the epithelial lining of the follicle or in groups in the connective tissues between the follicles. Over here, this area which is marked by a circle over here, that black circle, these indicate the parafollicular cells, which I just mentioned here. They are present between two adjacent follicles. Okay. Parafollicular cells are not part of thyroid follicles and are not in contact with the colloid. They usually appear as large and oval and variant shape. They usually appear as clear cells, and they do not stain well with the usual stain that we use with oxidant and mucin. They are called parafollicular based on the location and on their appearance of lighter cytoplasm. Parafollicular cells secrete calcitonin, a hormone that lowers the level of calcium in the blood. Here you can see three different pictures. In the thyroid follicles, you can see the follicular cells lining the follicles, and you can see the parafollicular cells between two adjacent follicles. That was the most important points related to the microscopic features of or histological related points related to thyroid gland. I'm hoping that you understood all the points, and if not, then we can go through a question answer session at the end. So if we talk about the thyroid gland, we have to mention that there is a thin capsule surrounding the gland, and then there is the capsule sends septa inside the gland and divides it into incomplete lobules. The lobules contain a cluster of thyroid follicles, and the thyroid follicles are lined by follicular cells or cuboidal cells that are responsible for secreting the thyroid hormone. And the colloid material present in the center of the follicle contains all the precursors required for the formation and then the secretion of the thyroid. And apart from that, you can find connective tissue, capillaries, arterioles, and venules in the parenchyma. So now let's move towards the parathyroid glands. The parathyroid glands are four small oval bodies located at the posterior surface of the thyroid gland. Um, these glands are small, ovoid, again endoderm-derived glands, and each parathyroid gland is surrounded again by a thin capsule and delicate connective tissue. Parenchymal cells are arranged in anastomosing pods. Okay? This is an important point related to the histological features that the parenchymal cells are arranged in anastomosing pods, surrounded by incomplete delicate connective tissue septa, reticular floor. Capillaries are quite abundant in this gland, and a considerable number of fat cells, that is adipose tissue, infiltrate the gland and may account for about half of the weight of the parathyroid gland in the head. Here you can see thyroid gland, and thyroid gland, they are showing you the exact location of all these four parathyroid glands. Okay, this is another same picture which I showed you previously, but over here I would like to mention that we are concentrating now on this parathyroid gland, which is attached to this thyroid gland. So this is the part we will be going through now, the cells present in this and the features about this gland. We will be going through this part right now. Parathyroid gland, basically, if we talk about the stoma, that consists of reticular connective tissue and fat cells. Reticular connective tissue, which we have studied previously, is responsible to provide a strong structural support and structural framework. And fat cells are present over here, which fat cells function, you also know quite well that they are responsible for storage of fat and providing insulation. These are the types of cells. There are three types of cells present in the parathyroid gland: adipocytes, T cells, and auxical cells. A reticular connective tissue framework surrounds and supports these cells. The male secretory cell is the T cell. These cells secrete parathyroid hormone, and there is also another variety of cells known as the auxical cells. These are large cells, and they contain numerous mitochondria. T cells, which are the basic cells of parathyroid gland, which are also known as principal cells. They are the numerous variety, like they are in large quantities in the gland, and they are small, round, or polygonal in shape, around 5 to 8 nanometers. And apart from that, you can see that the cytoplasm of these cells contain lipid droplets, lipofuscin pigments, and few PTH secretory granules, parathyroid hormone secretory granules. Large Golgi complex will be seen in these types of cells, and they synthesize parathyroid hormone, which is really of vital importance for normal calcium concentrations in the fluids and tissues of the body. If the parathyroid gland, for instance, is removed completely, calcium concentration decreases very rapidly and it leads to tetany, which is a condition in which there is extreme contraction within 2 to eventually it causes contraction or spasm of the respiratory muscles, leading to death if it's left untreated. Okay, the parathyroid hormone, which is surrounded by the thyroid gland, you can see different follicles. These are all the follicles over here of the thyroid follicles, and in one and over there, there is an embedded parathyroid gland, which is dark purple in color. And the rest of the surrounding is the light part, is the thyroid gland. Okay, this is another magnified view of the gland. Over here, you can see various dots which is visible over here belong to the different types of cells present in the parathyroid gland, which are T cells and auxical cells. If we talk about the stroma of the parathyroid gland, you can see that the stroma contains capillaries, which are visible over here. The pinky stained structures are the capillaries. And the purple stained area, the dots which you can see, purple dots, they belong to the endocrine cells, mostly the oxyphil and the T cells which are present throughout the gland. And these light stained areas with only a thin layer of cytoplasm, which you can see over here, these are the adipocytes, which are segmental in shape. These are also embedded throughout the gland. Parathyroid gland, you can also see that they have marked over oxyphil cells and the chief cells, but it has been not possible for us to identify both of these cells under the microscope. Like if you are viewing this parathyroid gland under the microscope, we will not be able to identify that which one is the oxyphil cells and which one is the chief cells, because we don't have that type of that higher magnification under the light microscope. Okay, we will just be able to identify that rounded structure which I previously showed you, like this structure, this over here in this diagram, as you can see, just a large purple area with numerous cells, nuclei and cortical, and along with that you can see, if we see a thorax magnification, if we can increase, so we will be able to see the adipocytes and the capillaries. Okay, oxyphil cells, the other cells which are present, their function is basically quite unclear. They are large and less frequent and they occur in small clusters. Their cytoplasm is strongly acidophilic and they are packed with large mitochondria, and there are no secretory granules present like those present in the chief cells. Nucleus is small and uniformly intense basophilic. Okay, there are plenty of transitional cells, that is, cells that are morphologically represent transitions between chief cells and oxyphil cells. Like there is a transition in the shape of the cells, but there are no secretory granules, and they contain a large number of mitochondria. So basically, although the function is quite unclear, but it can be linked with providing um, ATPs or energy for all the process going on over here of the secretion from the chief cells. See over here, this is the diagram. In the upper half of the diagram, you can see that thyroid gland is visible with different follicles and colloid present in the center of the follicle. Then you can see connective tissue capsule. Connective tissue capsule is visible. Then there is a part, the lower part is showing the parathyroid gland. Parathyroid gland, in which you can see that there are different cells, two types of cells in nuclei present, T cells and oxyphil cells. You can see different capillaries are visible over here. And apart from that, you can see connective tissue trapezium that are marked in this diagram. Okay, so if we talk about the basic points of identification for thyroid gland and parathyroid gland, so they are listed over here. These are the basic points that you will be required to write down if you identify the side of thyroid and parathyroid. For example, if you get a slide of thyroid gland in your exam and you're asked to write down the points of identification, then thyroid follicles consists of a layer of simple tubular epithelium called follicular or principal cells, and center is filled with colloid. Parafollicular cells are also present, and if you are required to write down more points of identification, then you can also mention that it is surrounded by a thin connective tissue capsule, and the capsule sends in septa, dividing the whole gland into lobules. That is another point that can be added in the points of identification. Otherwise, if 2 points are required, so you can also mention these 2 points. If we talk about parathyroid gland, so parathyroid gland, you can mention that it is also surrounded by a thin connective capsule. But the main points will be that adipocytes, chief cells, and oxyphil cells are present throughout the gland, whose nuclei are visible. And capillaries are abundant in the parathyroid gland. It is surrounded by a capsule which I just mentioned, and the delicate connective tissue. These will be the points regarding parathyroid gland, and regarding the thyroid gland, we will be mentioning the lining the follicles present over there, the colloid material present in the center, another type of variety which is parafollicular cells, they are present, we mention that, and also the connective tissue capsule lining.